Hello everyone and welcome to a little wrap-up epilogue video to our Dragon Age Origins adventure. The various Let's Plays. So we did Dragon Age Origins with various random bits of DLC thrown in, some cutaways to Origins and whatnot. Then once that was done, we took a little bit of a break. And then we did Awakening and Witch Hunt, and that was all we did. Okay, we had a go at Golems of Amgarek. Awful bit of DLC. Probably shouldn't complain. Whatever. So I thought I'd wrap up and just go through, here are the decisions we made. Maybe, if I can remember, go through some of the reasons why I did what I did. Just because then that gives us a nice bit of idea of what's going on. I'll probably also put this at the beginning of the Dragon Age 2 and Dragon Age Inquisition playlists. So hello! If you're joining us for that. Just to give people an idea of what choices I've made going into these series. And then I don't have to talk about them at the beginning of those Let's Plays. I can just go, here we are, yes, there's already a video telling you, etc. Right. So I'll start with Hero. I'm trying to work out what I'm going to do. I think I'll start with the Hero section, and then kind of go through things in the order I think I did them, so I may forget. Then once we've done all the Dragon Age Origins stuff, we'll look at the Dragon Age Origins companions, and then we'll look at Awakening and finish up with the Witch Hunt. And that's roughly in order of what we're going to be doing in this video. So let's start with Hero, shall we? So we were playing as the human noble rogue Gaheris Kuslan, named, if anyone is wondering, for one of the Knights of the Round Table. He was Sir Gaheris, he was brother to Sir Gawain, and Sir Gareth, and son of King Lot of Orkney. Random fact. And he survived all the way through to the end of Witch Hunt, barring quite a few reloads. Oops, no, I'm pressing the wrong button. I want to press that button to go back. So that's Gaheris Kuslan. That's who we've got. So let's go through the various choices that are that we have here. So we have the prologue. Now, as he's a human noble, he already has a dog. So the Mabari Hound as Ostagar isn't as it isn't making a decision about a companion. But Gaheris Kuslan, he has a dog. He loves dogs. He kind of loves dogs. He spends a lot of time with Chester. That was the name of our Mabari Hound. And so he didn't want to see another one suffer. And I don't think we had much conversation about the dog anyway. But we found this flower. Oh, it was a random flower that I can interact with. So we picked it because it looked like it might be special or something. I'm not entirely sure. We went and handed it in. We have it. We may as well do it. The Ostagar prison left alone. I think if you interact with them, there's a chest you can open. I think it's a little bit later, but I'm not sure. But I can't remember. I think the first time I played was a number of years ago, and I did interact with him. But we're playing a nobleman, a young nobleman. He's come to this new area. He's about to join the Grey Wardens. He's a little bit scared. Pretty much his entire family's been wiped out. He can't find his older brother. He kind of doesn't want to interact with a prisoner because partially it was a little bit that it was below him because he's a nobleman, but also he's probably early 20s, late teens. I don't know. I'm guessing. So he's probably not done much out. This is probably his first major excursion, pretty much alone, and he doesn't really want to go and interact with people and get into trouble, and then gets into a load of trouble because this is an RPG. So he didn't interact with the prisoner. That was kind of an early thing that when I remembered that was a thing, I thought that's what we'd do because I thought that made sense for a human noble. So after we dealt with Ostagar, we fought through. So that included part of the Kakari Wilds. We left. We headed to Lothering, which isn't anywhere in this. Tried to work out what we were going to do, and we went to Redcliffe to meet Arl Eamon. Unfortunately, he was poisoned, and there were various attacks of the undead, and we decided to help and fight, because this is kind of the idea of noblesse oblige, the nobleman's privilege. So, the Gaheris is a human noble, and these are people, as a Grey Warden, that he's kind of sworn to protect. You know, Grey Wardens, they fight the Blight, they protect people. And especially with the fact we needed their help, we helped Redcliffe fight, and we helped Redcliffe prepare. We ran around a lot, we found Owen's daughter in the castle. This was not the first cutaway, this was the second cutaway when we met Jowan. How did he escape the circle? Cutaway to the Mage Origin. Ooh. I may forget how the other one's connected in, but I remember that one. We found Bevan. I'm fairly sure we returned the sword. We did get the sword. I don't think we kept it. Part of me's thinking I didn't keep it, but I'm looking at... But I think it's the green sword, isn't it? Isn't it? And we didn't... And we had that in Witch Hunt, so I'm a bit scared. But I'm fairly sure that we kept... That we freed Bevan. We said that we'd give it back to them at some point, and I immediately looked at the sword and it was worse than everything we currently had, so I gave it back to them. That might be because I'd already done Darkspawn Chronicles and had Blightblood. So, yes, we did that. I'm fairly sure we returned it. I didn't mean to go that far back. We found Owen's daughter, we got her out. Bella. This is a frustrating one, because I'm not entirely sure what we did. Because I actually looked back over the epilogue to see what it said about her, and it doesn't say anything. I think we had to give her a load of money, and I don't think we had a load of money. So I don't think she left to start a brewery. She didn't die in Redcliffe, she survived. I don't think she left Redcliffe. So I've put that as she took tavern ownership, because that's the only one I've not eliminated. Although that might be wrong. I can't remember what happened with Lloyd. He's the guy who owns the tavern at the beginning. I'm not sure, but I think we saved everyone. I think everyone survived. I don't know what happened with Bella, though, is the frustrating part. I know she was alive afterwards. So I'm putting that she took tavern ownership, because I don't know what to put otherwise. Yeah, it might just be a bug. It may have just been a bug with the epilogues, not saying what it was. Is there? There must be a button I'm pressing incorrectly there. Oh, right there! Hooray! Could just press that. So we freed Connor from possession. We sent Morrigan into the Fade, and we kept Isolde alive. And the reason for that is before we actually did that, we had a bit of time. We went to deal with the Circle. We needed to get them signed up for the treaties as well. So we went to get them to get us into the Fade. Now that means that we supported the Magi rather than the Mages. Let's use the proper. So Gaheris Kusland, I played him a bit as a kind of devout follower of the Chantry, but in some ways he followed more the spirit of the law than the letter of the law. He did what was right. He trusted people, maybe people he shouldn't have trusted. That's a discussion for a little bit later. But he trusted those he thought were trustworthy. I think as it went on, he became a bit more pragmatic with that, where it became a bit more, I'm not sure if I can trust you, but you will help me, possibly, if I do trust you, and I'm not going to completely fall for everything. We saved First Enchanter Irving. He wasn't corrupted by Uldred, which is good, because we kind of needed him to save Isolde. And that's another reason why we supported the Magi. But that not only are they incredibly powerful, but he's fought with them for a bit. They're good people. He's just been spending time with Wynne, who's a good person. Morrigan, for all her kind of bluntness, is a good person. I'm saying that as if bluntness is a negative trait. But Morrigan's a good person. He's fought beside her as well. And Magi aren't that bad. Do we really just want to wipe them out? So we, of course, didn't agree to Colin's request to completely destroy the circle. We need these people. Not just immediately, but they will be needed in the aftermath of the Blight. After the Broken Circle, I'm not entirely sure what we did. I think, well, we went back to Redcliffe, and I probably could have watched through I could have watched through the entire series again. All 200 and some episodes. Well, over 300 now, I think, once we take into consideration Awakening and other bits of the Witch Hunt. So I think after that we went to Warden's Keep. We promised Levi we'd go, and we did. We didn't drink the concoction. I thought there may have been a chance to do that later, but I think it was just that potion before you meet Avernus, where you had that one option. It was the only option. A little bit disappointed. We slew Sophia. Slade is not correct there. We slew Sophia. But and we kept Avernus alive, and we promised he could stay as long as he did ethical research, rather than just continuing his research willy-nilly. He had to abide by ethics if he wanted to stay here. I think Warden's Keep is that. I'm not sure. Can't remember. I'm guessing as it's Warden's Keep, it still has some impact, still some control from the Grey Wardens. Maybe it's included in the Arling of Amaranthine now. Who knows? Right. That was Warden's Keep. After that, we may have gone to Denerim, although there's a lot of stuff. We'll look at that around the Lensmeet. So after that, I think we went to get Shale, and we did get Shale. Shale was recruited. Shale was alive and well. We didn't side against Caradin. We did side with Caradin, which is what happens when you don't side against someone. You side with them. Yes, that's what happened. And we fought Bronca. Unfortunately, we had to get something. I can't remember what it was. But we had to find. I think we had to find Amalia. We had to get something. But unfortunately, Amalia was being controlled by a cat possessed by a desire demon, who then possessed Amalia and tried to kill us. So we weren't going to side with a demon. Morrigan wouldn't do it in the Fade. After the Broken Circle, she went in and she refused to talk with the demon. We saw the impact it had in the Broken Circle, and we were kind of being very, very hard. And I think Gaheris would probably still do that towards the end if there wasn't any kind of sign of it. I think there were a few points in the Broken Circle, like there's that Templar where the Desire Demon's like, oh, I'm giving him what he wants. And I think we actually did attack her because you don't deal with demons. And that's something that Gaheris was very strong on. Demons are very abusive, in contrast to various spirits that you meet later on. So I think next thing was, yes, there's only really, I think we went to the Praesidian Forest next. So we dealt with the nature of the beast, and we managed to broker peace at the cost of Sathrian's life. He gave his life to cure the curse that was afflicting not only the werewolves, but at this point was now killing his own clan. We managed to see that forgiveness and mercy were the way to go. Forgiveness and mercy is a rant for another time when it comes to a certain character, who I will reveal what happened to him in the end. Carmen and Gaina, this was very much an internal issue that we didn't want to get involved in, he says, after all the other kind of meddling that Gaheris and the Grey Wardens were doing. Considering the really, really bad issues going on at the moment, it was kind of going backwards and forwards. I think it was he didn't want to affect the culture, and I think that was the kind of the key issue of it. Carmen wanted to be a hunter, but couldn't hunt, and Gaina wouldn't wouldn't marry. I can't remember exactly what it was. Carmen, if he wasn't a good hunter. And the responses were, well, you don't need to be that. You don't need to do that. You don't need, just because that's what everyone says. And that's kind of I'm coming into your culture and saying, you're doing your culture wrong. And Gaheris kind of wanted to stay out of it and say, you need to deal with this. This is kind of this is your culture. This is your issue. I'm not going to step on your guys' toes. It's not that we didn't encounter, but I didn't do anything else. I didn't break them up to make sure they wouldn't come together. I didn't bring them together. I think this is the best answer for the option. We managed to save the Hala. We cured him. We knew what we were doing. So Gaheris, I'm not entirely sure what class Gaheris would be. He's a bard. We took the bard style, but he was very good with the Hala, and he cured the Mabari hound. He likes Chester, his own Mabari. So yes. So we managed to save the Hala. We found the Iron Box for Varathorn, and we came across an unconscious elf and took him back to camp to be saved. We did find Athos's wife, but she begged us not to tell him what had happened, so that she would, he would remember her as an elf rather than as the werewolf that she became. And we abided by that, much to the chagrin of Morrigan. So that was the Brazilian forest. Now, after that, we went to Orzammar rather than going to Haven. I can't remember. We went to Orzammar. And there as I said, we sided with Caradin against Bronca to stop the use and abuse of the anvil. I want to say Anvil of Doom, but I think that's a Warhammer thing, a runic anvil. So this anvil, we stopped them from using it, and Caradin gave us a crown, which we passed to Balin. I know that Balin is not the morally best guy. He's very ruthless. He's veering towards tyrannical. And I think normally I probably would have gone with Harrowant, but this is alright. Gaheris Kustland. He's the human noble. His family was wiped out by Howe, who has now usurped his throne, even though his father thought he could trust Howe. And he sees echoes of that in the Balin Harrowant struggle. Balin is the son. He's the rightful heir. I know this is kind of going against the common gainer, but the way it's put to him is it's kind of, he is the rightful heir. He's the next in line. This is how nobility works. And no one in Orzammar really corrects his thinking. It's just Harrowant should be. Why? But he's like, is there any kind of difference in how the Dwarven Kingdom works? And I'm not entirely sure if that's actually gone into that much. And so he sided with Balin because of that, because his father was killed and attacked by Howe, who he thought was trustworthy, and the title was usurped. He didn't want to see that happen to someone else, so he sided with Balin. So that's why that happened. We met Ruck, and similarly to Athos's wife, he asked us not to tell his mum what had really happened to him, and to allow her to think of him as a great warrior. So we did that. We gave money, and we allowed Burkle to... I'm guessing that we gave money. But we allowed Burkle to create a chantry. And we actually visited for one of the services. Though Liliana didn't... I thought Liliana might have said something. I was slightly sad that he didn't. Again, Zelinda... We got Zelinda to reconcile with the family. I'm thinking about this more and more. It's kind of a bit bizarre that he went against this. I think he can understand Carmen and Gainer's kind of... You have this kind of position here. And with Zelinda, it's kind of you're leaving this child to die. Whereas for Carmen and Gainer, there are other people around. We found the Auton records for Orta, so she could join the assembly, so we have more friends in Orzammar. Dagna left to study. She started studying at the Circle. We did get that agreed upon. We didn't encounter Mardi because we personally didn't have a son with Mardi, although the dwarf nobleman did. But the dwarf noble... This is the problem with doing what we've done, is some of these don't fully match. So if I do try and switch this, we didn't encounter Mardi's son, which is true. If I choose this answer, it goes, were you actually... Yes, so that's the problem with doing what we've done, is the game doesn't think you're going to be strange enough to throw all the origins together like this. So... Gaheris didn't have a son with Mardi, but Mardi does have a son who's, I assume, he's not historically important because, of course, Drogrim Aiducan disappeared into the deep roads, having been exiled for the murder of Trias. So I think that's how that works. That's why that works that way, honest. We did manage to... We found all the stuff proving the Legion of the Dead was connected to a noble house. I think. I'm fairly sure we did, and we got the book back for the Shaperate, so very much good guy, apart from Balin, maybe. Unfortunately, the Urn of Sacred Ashes, so this is what we needed to heal Al Eamon. So we had two choices. We were offered the chance to poison the urn, and we decided not to. This is an important relic to the Chantry, so we weren't going to do that. And also the fact we had Liliana and Wynn with us. I'm not sure they'd have taken it too well. But principally it was because of his belief. Oh, is that only in here? The only choice. Because of his belief in the Chantry, he didn't want to do that and destroy the relic by having it poisoned. So then, at long last, we head to Denerim. We had gone a few times before, but I thought we'd just keep all these things together. And there were various things that we forgot to do, like a very, very silly person. We didn't find Ulfstan. We didn't find the ring for Ulfstana, which was rather unfortunate. We didn't find Oswin to tell Ban Sigurd. We didn't fully explore House Dungeon, which I think is where both of those are. But we did stop Salandri from attacking us and dying. We didn't do any of the crime wave stuff, although I think we did approach. He did approach us because we're a rogue. We found a scroll for Sister Justine. We dealt with various mercenary bands. For these, we didn't do any kind of assassinations. We brought Alistair and Guldana together because, they wanted to do it. And for all our kind of, we're very, very soft, we don't really end up hard, we did have Marjolaine killed. And the reason for that is she would keep hunting Liliana, and it would get pushed to the point where one of you is going to die. Liliana ended up still being kind of softened, not hardened, I think is one thing you can do. You can do that with Alistair as well. But we ended up not doing that with either of them. So, yay! Nicely, we're all nicey nice people. So, having finished up in Denerim, there's only a few things left in Origins. We went to the Landsmeet and we convinced everyone to side with the Grey Wardens over Lagain Mactyr. And they agreed that Alistair and Honora... Alistair... I don't know what his surname was. Alistair and Honora Mactyr would be married, creating... well, maybe, I don't know, creating a new dynasty, possibly. I don't know. But they would be king and queen together. That was the plan. So they did that, kind of bringing together... So the reason for that is they're bringing together both sides of Ferelden. There's kind of a bit of a split. There are those who support Loghain Mactyr, and if you're going to completely kick out him and Honora, it looks like you're trying to remove him from power. Even though a lot of people still see him as a hero. So Honora kind of brings those in, and Alistair brings those people who want to see... I can't remember the dynasty. But they want to see someone of... Oh, Therin. They want to see someone who has Therin blood. So those two sides coming together is a good way of doing this. I was admittedly tempted to go with a Koosland MacTier kind of get Gaheris involved early on, but then we ended up romancing Liliana. I say that like it was a surprise to me, but I think he would stay true to Liliana. He wouldn't go into a political marriage. So, yes, there we go. So he didn't want to get involved, although that could have been a good mix. You have someone who is a strong nobleman. We'll forget about the fact that Fergus exists. And we have two people in line to the two Turniers of Ferelden coming together, which would make an exceptionally powerful and worryingly powerful couple. But we put Alistair with an aura. They seem to not hate each other horribly. I was glad to meet. And then, finally, the Battle of Denerim. And all these options are who killed, who struck the final blow. And it was, of course, Gaheris Koosland himself, who strode in with the final blow. And yet somehow we survived. So, companions at the end of Dragon Age Origins, as I've already said, we romanced Liliana. I think it's just one of those things. It's just I ended up doing that just because I got her approval the highest. She kind of fits my playstyle a lot better. Like she is that kind of nicey, help everyone, be very kind of nice. And Morrigan's a lot more kind of be truthful, don't fudge things, be blunt, and being nasty isn't a bad thing in a way. But I ended up last time I played, I ended up romancing Liliana as well. We recruited our dog. We recruited Chester as a human noble. You just end up doing that. It's not too hard. We persuaded the revered mother to give us the key to let Sten out, and we recruited him. We needed at that point everyone we could get. We had ourselves, Alistair, Morrigan, and Liliana. That's 4 of you to take on Loghain and his army, and the Blight, the Archdemon, and all the Darkspawn. You're not going to do that with 4 people. So we recruited Sten. When we met him, we got his sword. I didn't realise you couldn't recruit Wynn, actually. I thought you had to. Same with Oghren, but what do I know? We recruited Wynn, and Wynn ended up being alive and well. I think the first time I played, I don't think she was. I think something happened to her, but I don't know what. What are the options? I'm actually surprised. Not recruited. Alive and well, died, killed. Okay, those are the only times you can try. I thought she'd... Oh, okay. My memory must be bad. Absolutely atrocious. We'll talk about this one later. We did recruit Oghren. I didn't think that was a choice. He wanted to go into the deep roads, so we took him along, and we kept him. Considering how well we got on in Awakening, I'm not entirely sure why, but we took him on. Zevran, having tried to kill us, asked to join us, and we were a bit wary of this, but in the end we allowed him to join. He survived. We did kind of get on. We were both rogues, both dual wielders, so maybe we kind of had that in common. And I think some of the conversations he had with Zevran are some of the reasons why he became a bit more pragmatic as it went on, rather than always doing the necessarily immediate, this is the right thing. I think he did change some of his thoughts as the game went on. So Alistair, we made him king. We've already discussed that one. We weren't lovers. No, we romanced Liliana. And Liliana survived. Is there a way she can die? I assume that's to do with the urn. Didn't recruit Liliana. Killed Liliana to poisoning the urn, or she just leaves, but that's connected to the urn. So no, probably one of the good things of not poisoning the urn. We acquired the grimoire for Morrigan by killing Flemeth. After attempts, we did manage to kill Flemeth, and we got her grimoire. And that taught Morrigan about, and Morrigan learnt from that about this ritual, about having this old god baby, and so that happened. We did go through with it. So the question: what happened to Lagain? Now, for those of you who are wondering, in my playthrough of Dragon Age Origins, I don't like the way this is handled. That's a personal thing. And so I thought we'd have a lands meet of our own, and in the comments we would have a vote as to what would happen to Lagain. So he would be kidnapped. He would not kidnapped, but he would be imprisoned after the duel. After he surrendered, he would be captured and imprisoned. And if Denerim didn't fall, then it would be put to the lands meet what to do with him. Would he join the Grey Wardens, or would he be finally executed and dead? And it wasn't. It would. So either we did it, or we in the game. By the way, to represent that, I did execute him as the warden. So what really happened? Was he executed by the warden for real this time, or did he survive? Was he was he forced to join the Grey Wardens to gain his redemption? Well, I can tell you that there was one lone voice, saying that Lagain should live, and I was shouted down by the landsmeet. No mercy, no forgiveness. He was a hero, but he's done so much ill. Execute him. And so Lagain was indeed executed. So, which is quite nice, because that means that there's not going to be any accidental things in Dragon Age 2 saying, oh, he's dead, and then we get to Inquisition and it goes, oh, he's alive. So in a way, that's kind of a good thing, but yes, Lagain was indeed executed. So that's all the Origins stuff dealt with. So now we're going to get to Awakening and Witch Hunt, once this is all loaded. So, Awakening. We played this recently, so I should remember everything we did. We kept Nathaniel alive. He wanted revenge for his father. I don't think Gaheris Kusaland has the right to kill someone for that. He killed Rendenhal for that reason, for revenge for his family. But we kind of trusted Nathaniel a little bit. We got on with him. And I think as it went on, you could see the relationship between Rendenhal and Bryce Kusaland and what it used to be like, because we did get on really well. There was that sense of friendship, so I thought that was really good. Part of me was tempted to, I'm not sure how much of me was really tempted just to have him executed, just in case. I think partially it was because another companion, especially the fact he was an archer. Archers are awesome, as we learned from our Dalish elf origin. We did not help Oghren. That's probably because you needed to have your approval yay high, like, you know. You need. I think we got it up to about. I think we maxed it off around between 40 and 50. And then this quest started, and it's like, you need to be friends with him. It's like, I was friends with him in the previous game. Do you not remember this game? But no, so we didn't help precisely because we couldn't help. The game just wouldn't let us. I think if we'd had the ability, we would have tried to get them together. That again is a rant for another. That is a rant for another time, I think. Just they changed the character, and in this way as well, not just personality-wise with regard to his thoughts to the warden commander, but also his relationship with Felsi seems to have changed. I don't know. We managed to save both the Keep and Amaranthine. I was a bit worried that we hadn't when we only got one achievement saying we'd saved Amaranthine, and a lot of the bookmarks said that people had died. I'm a little worried what's going to happen in Dragon Age 2 with that. Maybe we're going to miss some things out because the game's like, they died! Like, no, they didn't. They're all alive. This is one of those kind of pragmatic choices I was talking about that's a bit weird, and I'm not entirely sure I made the right call. But we allowed the Warden to live, to try to end the blight. That's what he promised would happen. He would end the blight. He would stop. He would give the Darkspawn kind of intelligence with his concoction of Grey Warden blood, as long as he didn't kill people. So, kind of a similar thing with Avernus. Kind of, you can. It's your research. If it helps deal with the blight, go ahead. And that kind of goes into the reason we stayed at Amaranthine, kind of similar to why we stayed at Redcliffe. There are two jobs of the Grey Wardens. They are to protect people, and they are to fight the blight. If this is something that helps us fight the blight, brilliant. Our job is not to kill Darkspawn. Our job is to fight the blight, to end the blight, to stop it. And if this is a way that stops blight, that makes the Grey... There we go. That's the Grey Warden's job. I'm not sure how this is going to work. I'm not sure what kind of impact this is going to have further down the line. But that's the decision I made, for better or worse. We allowed the architect to live, to continue his work. And I think we also avoided a horrible fight with Sigrun and Justice. Yes, so that was Awakening, and then finally, something we did just a couple of days ago. The Alluvion with Morrigan. We didn't go through the Alluvion. We didn't want to stab Morrigan. They are friends. I don't know about you guys, but I don't go around randomly stabbing my friends. There was no reason to do it. Gaheris trusts Morrigan. He trusts her to do the right things. He's not going to stab her. But he wasn't going to go through the Alluvion either. I thought this was an option. A few, the dialogue options talked about it. I kind of talked about, ooh, I could come with you. But the thing is, while he'd really like to see the child, he loves Liliana. And he doesn't want to leave her. And he trusts Morrigan, as I said. And he said to Morrigan that he wouldn't try and follow her. And then tried to follow her in Witch Hunt. Shh. But he's not going to go with her. It's her choice. Especially with the fact that Morrigan didn't invite him. He didn't want to push the issue and say, you could take me. No. So he stepped away. He took the gifts from Morrigan. And we don't know what those are. I think there were a couple of books. I think it was something to do with a book. But it may be information in that book. That I don't know. I don't know what was in that. So he stepped away. He let Morrigan go her way, and he's gone his. Assumably back to Liliana. And those were the choices we made in Dragon Age Origins. At least the ones here in the Tapestry. I'm sure there's a load of other random choices we made that might have an impact in Dragon Age 2, but won't on Inquisition. So that was Dragon Age Origins, including all the expansions and DLC that are here. And the important choice to remember from Gauntlets of Amgarak is don't play it. Just a heads up. So there we go. That was the Let's Play that was. Very nice. Very, very interesting just to relive some of these choices and wonder, what on earth was I thinking? So yes. The real final goodbye to Gaheris there. Yes, so it ends. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching.